Today, as I present this speech to you all, I'm wearing a suit. Before September the 7th, 2013, I did not own a single suit, and I had no intention of ever owning one, and this topic I'll get back to a little bit later. But first, why would a rural-based, family-orientated timber industry worker with a love of family time, four-wheel driving, the bush, dirt bikes and competing in motorsport put his hand up to relinquish his quiet, idyllic lifestyle for the fast-paced, highly stressed and highly scrutinised lifestyle that comes with being in the political spotlight? I'll start with perhaps the definition of democracy. Democracy, government by the people, a form of government in which the supreme power is vested in the people and exercised directly by them or by their elected agents under a free electoral system. Further to this, may I quote the first line from the Museum of Australian Democracy website under the heading Australian Democracy, an overview. It states that Australia is a representative democracy. In this political system, eligible people vote for candidates to carry out the business of the government on their behalf. To stand for either house, a person must be at least 18 years of age, an Australian citizen, and an elector entitled to vote or a person qualified to become an elector. I ticked all the boxes to qualify to become a senator, just as I imagine our forefathers would have intended when creating the independent upper house in 1901. I honestly believe those watching at home, reading online, or reading in the papers should always have the opportunity to stand up to represent their peers. Our Senate and the decisions which govern our lives should not be solely represented by the political class. But that still doesn't explain why I gave up that idyllic lifestyle to sit here in this great chamber with great pride to be able to present this speech. I want to briefly refer back to the definition of democracy and subsequently the definition of representative democracy. As a voter, I never agreed to be restricted to a two-party system, and hear many others say the same. I was continuously unsatisfied with what appeared to be our only options at the time of the election were between two parties that were so ideologically different that middle ground was nowhere to be seen. I was unsatisfied that our elected representatives were bound by preconceived party positions, which in turn goes against the very definition of representative democracy, as the voices of the people that they were supposed to represent seemed to somewhat fall on deaf ears. If every person sitting in this room voted to represent their state after taking on their constituents' views, like I believe the Senate was originally designed to achieve in 1901 when Federation was formed, and if all senators voted with their conscience, only then will we see the true representative democracy that Australia could be proud of. And that is why I stood up to be heard.